having a child with special needs or having your own different abilities can be an experience that feels very alone and disconnected. Parents to children who have hearing loss or deafness, or a parent of a youth who has an emotional or behavioral disability, can be really difficult, and the disconnection and their feeling of being alone can make it feel like they're the only ones who are experiencing that difficult experience. It can be debilitating and greatly impact their quality of life. Having a meaningful connection with others who are like us gives us a sense of being in the same boat with them. When people are helping each other within that group, it can oftentimes be more effectual at making the recipient feel supported than anything that the practitioner can do. The theoretical model that looks at these groups of people lifting each other up is what we call mutual aid. William Schwartz, writing in his 1961 book, The Social Worker in the Group, said that the group is enterprise in mutual aid, an alliance of individuals who need each other in varying degrees to work on certain common problems. When we talk about mutual aid as a theory or as a genre of group intervention, this ability of the group members helping each other is a powerful concept. This style of group is prolific, and it's used with all types, but especially with those who are isolated and physically or emotionally challenged. These groups all have different styles and looks. And don't worry, no, they don't all have the big moosey or some sort of time set aside to cry on each other like in Fight Club. But they are avenues to help make families and the persons who are participating in them feel supported and connected. I don't work specifically with any students right now who are deaf or hard of hearing at this time. I'm excited to see that the program in my school district is putting together family nights to develop connection and rapport with their parents. The deaf and hard of hearing community is small, and pulling families together is important. With the students, the EBD students and parents that I work with, having family nights has been something that's been beneficial for our parents. It can be so alone to feel that your child, that you're not able to come and to take them out to some sort of an activity or an event that most families and most people think is fairly normal. To be able to go and to say, hey, let's go and eat out at a restaurant tonight. That for lots of families might feel very normal. But for some of the families that I work with and who have children with severe emotional and behavioral disabilities, that might seem like an unsurmountable challenge or activity to be able to do. And I've even had that be a goal with some of our parents to say, hey, the thing that we're going to try to do is to set up systems in place and to develop strategies so that they're able to go and to participate in these type of normal activities. We started having family nights in our program to give parents an avenue to connect with each other and to be able to help each other out. Because it's so debilitating if you're in this place where those normal daily activities seem like they're impossible and like it's something that you can't do, you feel so alone and so disconnected in that. And really, there are a number of benefits to this style of work. Gavin, in his handbook of group work, describes this connection as being in the same boat. When families recognize that they're in the same boat, there's a number of benefits and things that they get as a part of that. It expands the members' perspective. So in the case of working with parents of children who have emotional and behavioral disabilities, they start to understand the breadth and depth of other families' problems, their problems, and the concerns and the things that are happening for them. Not only are they not alone in that, but that there are other ways that families deal with issues, that they're able to come and understand how other families think about some of the disabilities and problems that they have. But it really expands those members' perspectives. It helps members to universalize their struggles, that they can look and say, hey, I'm not the only one that this happens to. I'm not the only parents that have this type of struggle. If you're talking about doing mutual aid work with persons who have an anxiety disorder, for example, that kind of them being able to connect with other people who have an anxiety disorder can help them to be able to realize how those other members are dealing with that anxiety. When we talk about mutual aid as a intervention and as a group format, it helps to raise the level of consciousness and to expand those members' perceptives. And it also develops group empathy support. And so that they start to realize that they can feel more empathetic towards their partners. It develops group empathy support. As workers facilitating mutual aid as a group and as an intervention, there's some things that they should really do and kind of some tasks that we have. And so as the facilitator, one of our tasks is to direct group members to each other, that we should be coming and encouraging them to speak directly to each other, to share the things that they've learned, to share the ideas that they have, or to confront, or to do all of those things directly. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to come and to develop a setting and an environment where they're able to help each other. Because again, that's where the real effectual nature of that type of work happens. Another task that we have when we're helping to facilitate these type of groups is to identify and focus on salient themes, to look for the topics that are coming up, the things that are important to those group members, and to raise those to the surface and to ask directed questions, to come and to guide the group in the areas that those group members seem to want to go. That as a part of facilitating these types of groups, we want to encourage and reinforce cooperation and mutual support for norms. That we want them to recognize that they're able to help each other, that they're able to come and to do that, and that they're going to do that in ways that are positive and beneficial for the group members. That we want to engage group members to participate in collective activities, that we want to get them to go and to do things together. Something that I'm trying to do this year, and actually this month, one of the activities that we're doing as our family night is to have a volunteer experience for the parents that I work with that have children with emotional and behavioral disabilities. I'm going to see how many of them I can get to come together, and we're going to just go and do a volunteer activity. And so I'm really excited about that. And it's not something that I've done before. It's something new. But this idea of saying, how can we engage members to participate in activities where they're doing stuff together, right? Because then they're rubbing together, they're connecting, and that's going to help develop that mutual aid or that mutual support that they really need. And that as we also look at doing these types of groups, that giving the participants the ability to do rehearsal, to implement new skills, to practice them, to see what they look like, to have any opportunities that they get to do, kind of to rehearse new things or new ideas, or how are they gonna how for a group that's working with the LGBTQ community, how could they come out to their family or to people in different settings, and to give them an opportunity to practice doing that, to have an opportunity to hear how other people have come out, how all of those kinds of things. Like, that is a great way of using these mutual aid types of groups. So what I want to ask you, and kind of the thing I'm curious about, is what types of activities would you have if you were with maybe families that you're working with, or the population that you would like to work with? What would you do to encourage them to participate in some of those collective activities? And, you know, if you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe, to like this video, to share it, and I hope it's been helpful. Thanks for watching.